So what is that most awkward moment you had at the closing table that
We had a lady once go into labor at the closing. Now, she did make it to the hospital in time to have the baby, not at our office. But I did argue for naming rights of the baby if the baby was going to be born at our office.
Did you get a signature before she left, or did you
She finished the closing. She
What a trooper.
Yes. She was like, I'm finishing this. One gentleman show up with his girlfriend and not his wife, and when we asked him to go to the get her ID, they went to the parking lot and never came back. So
brought the wrong one.
Brought the wrong one. Yes.
Got Alexa mixed up with Siri.
Correct. Yes.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Real Estate Rundown Show. This is where the deals are made, the wealth is built, and the smartest minds in the business break it all down. And this is also where I get to interview the people that are behind the deals. And today on the show we have Landon Barrowclough.
Barrowclough, correct.
Barrowclough. Usually I get it confused with
Barrowclough.
When we first met, I'd say Barrowclough. But Landon, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for the invite.
Landon works with Foreman & Watson Land Title. And just tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me a little bit about Foreman & Watson.
Well, myself, I've been in the title business for over 20 years now. I'm the old guy now at the company. I started off when I was at Kentucky Wesleyan College as their copy person.
So you was in the copy room?
I was in the copy room, yes.
Okay.
They basically, I'm just the head copy person now. Recently promoted to Chief Operations Officer for the company, aka the coup.
Oh, there you go.
Is what my employees call me.
You're right.
We do have 10 offices located through Kentucky and Indiana, and we're also licensed in Tennessee.
Okay. You're Indiana. That's Evansville, and that's where Fox 44. That's where the show's actually broadcasting right now. So yeah, and I had a closing. Of course, as a real estate agent, we use Foreman & Watson from time to time, and I've been to the Evansville, of course, Madisonville, and then of course Hopkinsville. That's a little bit newer one, right? Is that
that's our latest one. So we can cover all of Indiana and Kentucky, licensed in Tennessee also, but Southern Indiana, Western Kentucky is kind of our specialty,
right? Where
our offices are located. We also have a office just dedicated to commercial transactions. That's located in Owensboro, across from our main office.
Right. So to the new listener out there, the first time home buyer or someone that's looking to get into investing, what exactly does a title company do?
Well, a title company is going to get your closing to, we call it the closing table.
Right.
We're going to make sure that you're getting clear title on the home or investment property that you're purchasing. So we're going to start off by searching the publicly indexed records at the clerk's offices, making sure there's no clouds on title, such as mortgages, liens, errors in the chain of title. And if there are some things that could possibly affect you getting clear title, we'll take care of those before closing or sometimes at closing. We also are in charge of issuing title insurance to lenders and owners because we do a title search, but there are things that could come up after the fact that were not a part of our title search that could affect your title at a later date. So that's what title insurance is gonna cover.
I know that I had worked for a trust, and this particular landowner owned a lot of parcels of property. And early on, back in the 70s and 80s, he didn't do a lot of title searches and work. And
you see that a lot.
So we ran into a lot of problems. Essentially having that title search done, before all it does is just, it gives you that protection. You never know, there might be bad.
It gives you that peace of mind that no one can take the title to your property.
Yeah. Yeah, it would suck to spend, $200,000 on a piece of property and you don't actually own it.
It's a little bit of money to spend on your investment to not where you're going to have to spend thousands of dollars later to fix an issue.
Right. That was a really good explanation of what title does, and we're going to dive deeper into that as we go. But I mean, 10 offices.
10 offices, yes.
So whenever you started, how many offices were there?
We had 3.
3. So would you say that you kind of help build those up, or did you go out and just recruit different markets? Like, I mean, how did you?
We recruited into some smaller markets like Henderson, Madisonville, Glasgow.
Right.
And as we grew in those markets, we needed offices.
Mm-hmm.
So when we found the right people to manage those offices, we made the decision to go ahead and
brick and mortar in the different markets. Yeah. So I mean, that to me, 10 offices, that seems very successful.
We've got 70 plus employees for the title company.
Wow.
So we are a large company. Yeah, we're still a small company. We're local people working in all our markets. But for the amount of business that we do, we have to have that many employees to have a good product.
Yeah.
Be cost efficient, and just make it a good transaction for everybody.
That's impressive, because I mean, you started in the copy room, and then what that tells me is, I mean, of course you probably got promoted up from here to here to here, but you've seen the vision.
Correct.
You've seen the vision of what they were wanting to do, and to go out there and just be a part. We're all not going to be too selfish to say that we do it all by ourselves, right? Correct. But you and a team of good people, you went out there and helped grow this thing.
Yes, yeah.
10x. So that's super cool. And to be that successful, your marketing, must be great. Like I know
we've got good marketing and salespeople. If you've seen our Facebook and TikToks,
yes,
we enjoy having fun but being professional.
Yeah.
But we like to lighten the mood up a little bit.
Yeah, I noticed that you use a lot of a comedy in your TikToks and stuff. And I mean, that's one thing that helped break me out in real estate, was I didn't just kind of come in there and just strictly business. It was, like you said, it was business but fun, and I shook it up a little bit. But it looks like Owensboro is kind of the hub of the comedians. And that's primarily where
where I'm out of. So I'll take credit for most of those ideas. The younger generation is buying houses.
Right.
Younger generation is becoming realtors.
Yep.
So we have to stay relevant.
So be honest. So how many real estate deals would completely fall apart every week if like title companies didn't exist?
Well, I don't know if they necessarily would fall apart, but it's more of would transactions even get started without a title company? Because lenders, whether they're local or national, want a third-party company, title company, to handle the transaction, title search, title insurance.
Right.
So without a title company, you wouldn't have a closing, period.
Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, because essentially, I mean, that is the finish line. I mean,
it is the finish line.
It is the finish line. The deal is done whenever I see your face or another title company's face or whoever's face it may be. Like the deal is done, so.
And there's a lot that takes to get to that point. And if there are issues on title, majority of the time they do not fall apart. Everything can be reversed or fixed.
Mm-hmm.
It just may take longer in some instances.
Right.
But again, that's where a title company can save that, because that's what that's title company's expertise is, just focus on real estate transactions.
Right.
Nothing else.
So what's the most awkward moment you've had? Because the goal at the end of the day in real estate is just to get to that closing table.
Correct.
You get a buyer, you get a seller. The seller's happy that they're selling. Hopefully, the buyer's happy that they're buying. Whenever you get to that closing table, 90%, 95% of the time, everybody's happy.
Correct.
So, what is that most awkward moment you had at the closing table? That
I wish I had a really, really super cool story for you. I think I got some that are funny though. We had a lady once going to labor.
Okay.
At the closing. Now, she did make it to the hospital in time to have the baby, not at our office, but I did argue for naming rights of the baby. if the baby was going to be born at our office.
Did you get a signature before she left, or did you
she finished the closing. She
What a trooper.
Yes. She was like, I'm finishing this closing real quick. So we sped through it real quick and got that done.
Oh my goodness. That's great.
We had one gentleman show up with his girlfriend and not his wife. And when we asked him to go to the get her ID, they went to the parking lot and never came back. So
brought the wrong one.
Brought the wrong one. Yes.
Got Alexa mixed up with Siri.
Correct. Yes. And then we also had, I personally had a closing where the borrower signed an AKA name statement for all the names that come up on their credit report. And the husband looked over and said, I don't remember you having that last name. And she said, well, we'll talk about that later, not right now.
Oh my goodness.
So I think there might have been a marriage in there somewhere in between that he did not know about.
Surprised it wasn't like a stripper name.
I can't remember what the name was, but we have had farm animals at closing. There is a realtor that we do work with that has a petting zoo as a side business.
Okay.
And he brought an alpaca, I believe, and a mini horse. Yes. And a side note, this same alpaca at one time at a realtor petting zoo event spit on one of our salespeople's hair. So it was. So I think that's why he decided to bring that alpaca, because there's a story behind it. We've had someone bring a duck. Of course, lots of dogs.
Yeah.
But sometimes, the animals act better than humans.
Well,
sometimes
I can totally relate.
So,
I've seen that. Speaking of animals, I had a property listed, and there was a buyer's agent that wanted to show the property, and all of a sudden, let's just say the showing started at 1 o'clock. Well, 1:10, 1:15, I get a screenshot of a picture, and the seller says, "Why is there a goat in my house?" And I seen the message I seen the picture, and I click on it, and sure enough, this person had a pet goat, and they took it in the house. I mean, they were holding it like a baby, and they took it in the house during the show.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I'll get in trouble by this loan officer that not mentioning the baby goat that they had brought in a couple times to closings as well.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm glad you got that, so I wouldn't get in trouble for that. But Foreman Watson Land Title, we support animals at closings.
That's great. Okay. So explain that you actually the seller or the buyers technically don't have to be on site.
Well, the way technology is now, especially during COVID, when nobody wanted to come in and physically sign, the technology for electronic signatures, we can e-record a lot of documents now. So if people aren't here now, we can use a third-party company to get their e-signatures through an e-notary. Makes it a lot simpler than having people actually having to go to a physical notary or traveling to us wherever they're at. It's a convenience thing.
Yeah, I mean,
for a lot of people.
I've got some investors that are out of state, and without being able to do that process there, it would make it really hard on them. So I know the mail away is.
It used to be a real big deal, but it happens so often now that we've kind of made it streamlined.
Yeah,
it's just the way real estate is now.
Right. So, what's the biggest myth people believe about title companies and title insurance?
The biggest myth, I'd say, and I get asked this at closing a lot when we're talking about title insurance, is, well, if you had done your job and on the title search, why do I need title insurance? Well, title search, again, we're just searching the indexed records, assuming that they're correct. So there could be clerical errors, missing heirs, things not recorded in the right spot. There's numerous amounts of things that could come up after the closing that were not a part of our title search. So that's where title insurance is going to come in.
So act like I am a first-time home buyer, and you're going to educate, because I'm going to be like, what's title? I didn't know what title was.
Correct. Yeah.
My realtor told me a little bit about what y'all do, but role play with me for a minute is, so what is title insurance?
So title insurance, before it's going to give you a peace of mind that nobody can take your title of your home away from you.
Okay.
But it is like an insurance policy, but it is different than what you would call your car insurance, your medical insurance. This protects you against things that occurred in the past that could come up later to affect your title. So you're only paying a one-time premium. You're not paying monthly for it like you do other insurance. And other insurance is for if something happens to you later.
Right.
Or again, this is things that happened in the past just haven't come up yet. So that's the difference between title insurance and other insurance. But title insurance is going to protect you again, things that are not involved in our normal search that wouldn't come up in our normal search at the clerk's office. And it's not meant to scare you.
Right.
But like any insurance, you don't need it until you need it.
On a title search, do you go back X amount of years, and with title insurance, do you tend to go back further, or is
On title insurance and a title search, we generally go back 30 years.
Okay. Okay.
On commercial files, we'll go back farther to 60 years.
Okay.
But there is human error, again, at the clerk's office, and it does protect you against things that could come up later. But it's definitely for the value, for how much it costs, it's definitely worth it for your investment.
Right. So explain to me, just because
Mm-hmm.
I'm thoroughly asking a question here that I don't know. If you go back 30 years, I guess that makes sense, because if there's any errors or anything, it's going to fall on the last person that owned that property. Is that correct? Could there be anything further back, or is there a reason why we don't go back further?
Well, title insurance requires us to go back 30 years.
Okay.
And the reason for that is, eventually some of these issues have timing mechanisms that will make them expire.
Right.
So there's certain things past 30 years that, even though it might be a title issue, let's say an old mortgage never got released, eventually those mature out, and it's no longer a mortgage that a bank can come back and file a claim on.
I got you.
So, like I said, some of these things will date out. Title insurance can also insure over an old issue that may never get resolved ever, and may never be a claim ever, but it allows us to close a transaction as long as they've got title insurance and the title insurer is insuring over that issue.
I got you.
Something that may never get fixed, ever come up, or could be a lot of work and a lot of man hours and money to fix, when it's something that's not really going to be a issue down the road.
And hopefully, I hope I don't put you on the spot here, but like, what is one instance that someone got title insurance or did not get title insurance, and it really saved them financially? Like, do you have an example?
I've got an example that, fortunately, it got caught, but it could have affected them a lot. Was a seller got a bridge loan on a file, and when we did the title search, that bridge loan had not been recorded yet. So when the closing took place and we did our title search, there was no mortgage on the property at that time. But in between our title search and the closing, the mortgage got recorded. So what could have happened is the title insurance would have had to come in and pay that mortgage. But luckily, a couple weeks after, everybody kind of figured out what was going on. The sellers had this money that they didn't think they were supposed to get back, and they finally realized it was supposed to pay that bridge loan mortgage they had gotten.
I got you. They
were honest and went and paid it, but that's exactly an example of where they could have said, well, we're not going to pay it. That wasn't our problem. And that's where title insurance would have come in and either paid it, or their legal team would have come in and saw that, it was their mortgage. It was recorded later than it should have been, and forced them to pay it.
Right.
So title insurance is going to cover you if there is a claim that you have to pay out on, unfortunately, or if the title insurance needs to come up with their legal team.
I got you.
And fight a claim.
I got you.
Every claim isn't a legit claim on title, but you do have to fight a claim. Right. So you're going to be out your own attorney expenses to protect your title if you don't have title insurance.
Right. And with that title insurance, you're going to provide
they'll provide, like I said, either fighting the claim, or, unfortunately, if there is a claim that needs to be paid out.
Is there a deductible like you hear with other insurances and stuff? Like
some there is a deductible, but it's really small.
Really small.
Top of my head, I'm thinking like $50 to $100. Top of my head.
Okay.
But yeah, it's nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing large like you would think, like medical.
Right.
And stuff like that.
Right. So, what's a behind-the-scenes part of the closing process that buyers would be shocked to know about?
I think people don't realize how many hands touch the file to get it to the closing table. And I told you we had 70 plus employees.
Right.
So a lot of hands touching the file. And then you have lenders, agents, they all have their role. And it's very chaotic behind the scenes. I always use the example of the duck swimming, and, the head's all smooth. You barely see a ripple in the water, but underneath the feet are just, going fast. But yeah, I think that's what most people don't realize. It takes a lot to get to the closing table. In this day and age, everybody wants everything so fast.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing it fast, you're just not fast enough for everybody.
Right.
And that's when mistakes happen too.
Right.
So it's when I always tell my employees, we want to be fast, but we also want to slow down.
You want to be thorough.
Yes. So it's a good balance of being fast and being slow, and finding a good balance of being thorough, not making mistakes.
And as big as you guys have built this business up, I mean, if you miss one or two, it's not gonna hurt you.
Well, again,
bad. I know you want to help everybody.
Yeah,
but,
human error.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all humans. People make mistakes. If we think with all the hands in it, lenders, agents, title people, appraisers, there's always going to be mistakes sometimes.
Right.
But everything can be fixed.
Yeah. So, all right, man. If somebody was buying an investment property tomorrow, so a first time, investor. I mean, I just started to get into real estate investing. I mean, I guess it's going on 3 years ago now. What is one title mistake they absolutely need to avoid?
Well, we find a lot of investors, to save a couple bucks, will not get a title search.
Oh, just this. Not even. We're not even talking about the insurance. You're just talking about the search in general.
The search in general, yes.
How do you close a deal? Like, I just thought you had to close.
There's nothing that says you have to get a title search. Now, if you're getting a loan, the lender's going to require it, but a lot of investors pay cash, so they are going to. Some will want to save money for that reason, but the problem is, well, of course, we suggest you get a title search on every property. A lot of investment properties, some of them may have been foreclosed on.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they got them at a low cost to use them as investment properties. Sellers might be in some financial issues, or they might be buying it from another investor who didn't get a title search when they bought it.
Right.
So once that title is in your name, that title issue is your baby now.
Right.
Whether you're going to keep the home for just a month to flip it and move on to the next one, if that property has an issue, it's yours now.
Right.
So to save a couple bucks at the beginning, which could cost you a couple $1,000s to fix a title issue later, it's definitely worth the investment of getting a title search.
So, we're about to wrap up here in a minute. Before we do, just take a minute or two and just, we've talked about you and your role with Foreman Watson Land Title, but tell me a little bit about Foreman and Watson.
Yeah.
And what the people behind the name.
Well, we opened up in 2006 in Owensboro.
Okay.
And in Evansville.
So 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow. So y'all celebrating that this year, or?
It didn't really hit me, actually.
So now
I know.
Maybe we need to get that together.
Yeah.
So
sounds like an expensive party. So 20 years now.
Wow, congratulations.
So with the three main offices, Evansville, Owensboro, Bowling Green, then the smaller offices that, off from those big offices, we just have really good people. It takes a team to really get all this done, just like in your world, the lender's world, and I would say communication is the number one thing. Mm-hmm. in getting things to the closing table, is that everybody communicates. Yeah. And at my office, I say it in threes: communication, communication, communication. I can't say it enough. Yeah. And I'm very proud of our people. We have great staff. We don't have a lot of turnover. We have so many people that have been with us 10 plus years, and yet we have a lot of people that are new. Right. Because I feel like Foreman Watson Land Title is a good name in all our markets. And if we have a position come open, people want to come work for us, and I'm proud of that. You don't hear nothing bad. You don't hear. I'm just me speaking freely. There's a disclaimer. I can't endorse anybody that's on my show, but I mean, we're very family oriented company, and you do a lot, not only for realtors and real estate agents, but just for the community and giving back. Like, I've noticed that Foreman and Watson does a ton. We do each lot of charity in all the different markets. Yep. So kudos to you on that, and I know that the different markets appreciate that. So, but yeah, you said there's 70 employees. I've probably only met 10, 12 of them. Yeah. Because in my market, in your market, you work with them, and I've dealt, Cheryl in Madisonville, and I think Robin in Evansville, and then of course, the processors and stuff. So. What's good is, like I had 2 employees call in sick this morning. Mm-hmm. I mean, if it's going around right now, so I can offset some of their work to another office for some of these things that are centralized work. Mm-hmm. And so we don't miss a beat. Yeah, I've noticed that times someone might be on vacation and you're transferring someone from one over office to the other. Correct.
I mean, I think I've had closings that, on the hood of a car,
Yes.
So,
We've been in parking lots. Yeah. Wherever we need to go, we're very accommodating.
right.
We close before 8 o'clock. We close after 5 o'clock closings.
Right. Yep.
We close during lunch. I mean, I don't know what a lunch break is. You know what I mean? Like
I get it.
we work around. It's a business, and with being a realtor, we work around people's schedules. Work
Yeah.
around their work schedules, their kids' schedules, or their ball games, and that's just real estate these days.
Right. Well, good deal, man. So if somebody wants to reach out to you and maybe have some title questions or want to use you as their title company, do y'all have a website or?
We do. It's foremanwatsonlandtitle.com.
Okay.
So just our name.com.
If you don't know the phone number right offhand, I'll put it up at the screen. I know a lot of times
the main office where I'm at is 270-689-2424. You can always ask for Landon, and I can get you in touch with whoever you need to talk to in whatever market you're in. Of course, you can always go to all 10 offices have Facebook pages.
Yeah.
Foreman Watson Land Title, and then whatever office is. And so check out our social media and our TikToks.
You got to check out the TikToks.
We're proud of them.
They're very good. They're very good. Anytime one comes on. I was going to try to put you on the spot, but you let me down. Usually you've always got the socks going on, the crazy socks.
This year I've gone back to just neutral color socks.
Yeah.
I have so many crazy socks that people had given me that it almost became overwhelming.
Just to try to wear a different pair of socks every day.
And match up and stuff. So I've kind of taken a mental break from that.
You probably have to have a few totes of them, or after you wear them, you gotta throw them out.
I have a tote.
Yeah.
In my closet of nothing but socks.
That's hilarious.
But I was able to donate a lot of them.
That's cool.
Some of them I just wore one time just for Facebook, social media stuff. But I was able to donate a lot to churches and stuff to people that needed.
That's awesome.
Socks.
That just goes along with the brand, So.
Yeah.
Landon, thank you so much.
I enjoyed it. Yes.
Foreman Watson
Thank
Land
you.
Title coming on the show. I feel like anyone that hasn't been in the real estate process, I believe we was able to educate them a whole lot. So once again, guys, thank you for watching the Real Estate Rundown Show. This is where the deals are made and the wealth is built and the smartest minds behind the business break it all down. Until next time, thank you. And
do I get to say we'll see you at the closing table?
There you go. We'll see you at the closing table.
Hey everybody, I'm Josh Parrish, the host of the Real Estate Rundown Show. And if you are in real estate or an entrepreneur, small business owner, and you have a story to tell, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to have you sitting right next to me and hear what you have to say, listen to your story. So if you want to be on the Real Estate Rundown Show, give me a call, 270-871-4126.